So hopefully this episode ends up with Rocky just falling into a volcano. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 6th episode of the miniseries Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, as well as the 151st episode overall titled What Are You Thinking? We begin this episode out in a field where Billy, the Ranger kids, and the Alien Rangers are walking. According to Billy, this is the spot, and he says that Zoran says that this place is where they'll begin their quest. They then all talk about how they need to go back in time to get the Zeo Crystal shards. Delphine also suggests that they look for things in their heritage to be able to find the shards. And Rocky says, "Our heritage? I don't understand." I mean, what's there to understand? It's a simple sentence, Rocky. Look for all the things that have to do with your heritage and your shards could be there. Unless he means that doesn't make any sense, to which I say, boy, are you right about that. Billy beeps Zordon, letting him know that the kids are ready. Then a dark cloud shows up and he basically says, "Good luck not dying," and one by one the kids jump forward into the hole, disappearing, and it looks like the Alien Rangers are pushing them for some reason. Then Sestro collapses because his hydration level is dangerously low. Rita sees this from the moon and she suggests that they send down a monster to stop the Alien Rangers from getting to a pure water source. Zed says that he's going to send down a monster named Witchblade, which is a badass name. Also, he's going to put a force field around the Earth to stop the Battleborgs from being called because obviously they're not in the Japanese footage this week. Rocky lands in a different field that is almost entirely a little to the left of the last place we saw him, and he meets the most stereotypical Mexican boy I've ever seen in my godforsaken life. He says, "¿Cómo estás?" And Rocky says, "I don't speak Spanish," which leads to the boy saying that he speaks a little English, by which he means he speaks English only. He notices that Rocky isn't from around here, presumably because Rocky isn't wearing a poncho and walking a freaking goat while wearing a sombrero and eating a damn taco. Rocky says that he's looking for a crystal, and the boy says that he doesn't know about it, but he says, "I must leave now." Jesus, what a rude-ass kid. Then he just says that he does know about a crystal in the volcano by his village. In the command center, Sestro is still struggling, and Billy laments how they need to find a pure water source. And Zora and Alpha say they can't access that information because of the time period that they're in. But they didn't have access to water records 8 years before the kids got their powers. Then Billy has an idea, and it's not a who, but a what. He suggests the Angel Grove Aquarium. Also, Delphine says that they're fluent in most fish languages, so they're going to talk to them. The hell is happening? In detention, Bulk and Skull are talking about how much they love the Alien Rangers, and they're even wearing buttons expressing that, including someone's headshot. They lie to the teacher and say that they're going to go to the aquarium after school for their essay because the Alien Rangers are kind of like fish, so they're gonna go research fish, I guess? Under the command center, Goldar and Rito split up after arguing about where to go. That's it. Anyways, at the aquarium, Billy and the Alien Rangers just waltz in and they talk about how awesome the marine life on Earth is, and what the hell, Sestro is using his brain power to talk to a bunch of fish? He's been told that there's a pure source of water in a stream outside the forest on the outskirts of Angel Grove. Then Bulk and Skull come up and they're super excited to see the Alien Rangers. They also call Billy the old guy from the water park, which is really funny. Then Sestro just morphs in front of everyone, leaving. Sestro flips into a quarry, and he says he feels like he's not alone, and suddenly, he's being attacked by a random claw, getting hit down the world's longest hill. It's Witchblade, who looks awesome. Now the sun is setting for some reason, and Sestro is really struggling to stay alive before he's cooked and dried out. Okay, alien water crap aside, this shot is beautiful. Back to Rocky, we see that he and the boy have arrived at the volcano, and he just takes some rope from the boy while he leaves a trek up the volcano. Also, Goldar is spreading popcorn under the command center as a trail for himself. Where the hell did he even get that? Billy calls Zordon, and it looks like they forgot to put in a noise to alarm him. Zordon updates him on what's going on with Sestro, so he tells the Alien Rangers, and it's morphin time! Meanwhile, Sestro is running on water like Jesus before everything around him blows up. The Rangers are then there off screen, just posing about it. Rita and Zed are mad that Witchblade just knocked him into the water, apparently rehydrating him. Whatever, they make Witchblade grow giant, and the Alien Rangers attempt to call out the Battleborgs, but it doesn't work because of Zed's force field thing, and honestly, the best part is that the summoning music starts playing to just stop and fade out right away when it fails. 10 out of 10 on the editing job, guys. Then they just call it the Shogun Zords because, yeah, they can just use those things instead, guys. The Rangers get sucked into the Zords before forming the Shogun Megazord to the tune of the Alien Rangers theme song. And then they immediately get out the Fire Sword, killing Witchblade in a single swing. That was incredibly underwhelming. On the moon, Rita and Zed are fighting about how they lost, and Rita is just blaming Zed because his friend Witchblade failed. They also wonder what's going on with Goldar and Rito. Then Goldar finds himself at the dead end and he starts to retrace his steps with the popcorn to find where he was. And yeah, Rito was eating the popcorn, so now they're both lost. At the volcano, Rocky gets up to the top, tossing the rope in before he starts to descend. Pretty sure he'd be dead just from being this close, but whatever. He rappels down, finding a convenient cliff down there. He then finds a crystal, reaching out and grabbing it as it glows blue. Then we just see him leaving the volcano, and there's a group of allegedly Mexican people at the foot of the volcano celebrating him. The boy also says that the crystal was making the volcano unstable, so now Rocky saved the village? I feel like they could have, I don't know, done some kind of setup before now. Also, does that mean if the Rangers never needed to get the Zeo crystals again, this village would have just been wiped out of existence? Also, this boy's name is Pablo DeSantos, which is Rocky's grandfather's name, evidently, because Rocky's last name is DeSantos. So I guess Rocky went back in time? Again, if he didn't get this crystal, would he have even been born? Then Rocky just holds up the crystal and teleports away in a blue triangle fashion. In the command center, Alpha has de-energized the shield that was blocking the Battleborgs when Rocky just drops in with his crystal. They hope that the others are doing okay though. To be continued. Over the credits, we see the editors struggling to find anything good to put there because it's just alleged outtakes of the episode. But honestly, it's not funny or weird or anything. This episode does well to set up what the Zeo quests are going to be like. Rocky went back into his past, retrieved his crystal, and now he's back. Pretty run-of-the-mill. Other than that, it really feels like the Alien Rangers are just there to be suits fighting monsters while the Kid Rangers handled the story that they wanted to tell as they set up for the next season because, well, that's exactly what they're doing. You could call this the closest thing we'll ever get to a Sestro-focused episode in the miniseries simply because he had a one-on-one battle. But that's a big stretch because we still know nothing about any of these Alien Ranger personalities. Will next time be better at balancing the two aspects of the miniseries? Find out then, but until then, may the power protect you.